This video, we are going to talk about this article. Nearly half of SAP ECC customers may stick with legacy ERP beyond 2027. So I've been doing SAP since 2005, and since 2015 there has been a big push for SAP HANA, and now we're finding out that more and more SAP customers are pushing back and saying they don't want to move on to HANA. There's no big benefits to move on to HANA. The cost of moving on to HANA is just too expensive, and the cost benefit analysis is not benefiting them. So they are happy to stick with ECC. So let's explore this article to find out what this author has to say. So nearly half of SAP ECC customers may stick with legacy ERP beyond 2027. So at the end of support for ECC news, many customers continue to avoid moving to HANA because of the cost and complexity of the migration. Windows Umbrella Business Suite and Joule Agent, but German software giant made little mention of customer uptake of its flagship ERP HANA. So there's not too many, they're not seeing numbers go up for licensing of HANA. They're not seeing numbers go up for adoption of HANA. So things are not moving as rapidly as SAP would like. So 2027 is the end of ECC. Customers to move from its legacy ERP to HANA, with the end of support for ECC coming at 2027 for many users. So they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to answer questions about this. So they don't want to report the numbers for this. So because, yeah. At the end of 2024, only 39% of about 14,000 to 35,000 ECC customers had migrated to HANA. So 17,000 holdouts, or nearly half of ECC customer base by 2027. So they're saying by 2027, half the people will still keep using ECC even though the deadline has passed. She expects 40 to 45% of the ECC users to remain with older ERP through 2027. So SAP released first version of HANA in 2015. Migration has been steady but slow. It has a Grow transition program for medium-sized organizations in March. How can you think you will migrate the next 50% in the 5 years? The complexity of ECC installations, many heavily customized, and the cost of migration are two big barriers. So a lot of customers have customized their systems so much in the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years that it's hard to move all that to the new HANA system. And even though SAP provides different tools, so the customizations copy over, but there's still a lot of work to be done. If you migrate these custom reports, interfaces, conversions, enhancements, forms, the right stuff from a legacy ECC system to HANA, there's still going to be a lot of work. Even though you use some of these automated migration tools, there's going to be a lot of testing that needs to be happen. There needs to be a lot of code adjustment needs to happen. And that's going to cost a lot of money to these clients who don't see a lot of benefit in using HANA. So there is a lot of resistance, and up to 50% of customers may not migrate to HANA by 2027. Up to $1 billion for large enterprises with complex installations. 3 to 7 year migration projects. Those are long projects. And a complete redesign of their processes, a change management effort, and in some cases an additional human capital, a procurement solution. Timely and already slipped a couple of times. There's a new migration option called SAP ERP Private Edition. Continue ECC till 2033. Okay, so the SAP is giving some people an option to keep going till 2033. Gives credit to SAP for extending the support timeline and launching new migration tools. They can't move their entire organization off of the old product and set to the new product set. SAP sees a high demand for its products and for cloud services, including the cloud version of HANA. Cloud revenue is up 26% in the first quarter of 2025. The good news for SAP is that 2/3 of its cloud customers are new to the vendor. The tech giant has seen a 30% reduction in infrastructure related operational costs since completing its migration to HANA. The SAP Cloud ERP. SAP appears to be fighting an uphill battle as it tries to convince the remaining ECC users to move to its new ERP. Many organizations use many applications and they migrate those loads to AWS or Azure for speed. People want to add and host S/4HANA on top of all that. SAP is giving heavy discounts. 40% of these customers will still be with legacy ERP beyond 2027. ECC environment is very robust, stable. Support from SAP is ending for the product, but that does not mean that ECC environment is all of a sudden going to stop working, or they're going to have some new issues that clients never faced. The environment will behave exactly the same as before. So, interesting that half the customers may not migrate to SAP HANA by 2027, so we'll see how SAP handles this. They've been threatening to end support by 2027 for ECC. There might be some exceptions to that. In most cases, they want 100% of their customers migrated to HANA, but now it looks like half of them will not. There's resistance, so we'll see what SAP does and how this plays out in the next year and the next couple of years.